If it's Thursday, that means it's time for NSRLA. Oh, welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined tonight by Chris Smith and Cam Gillens here in the Slingshot TV booth. And we're bringing you race number 16 of the Downtown Auto Sales Series, live from the Concrete Coliseum. It's Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee, just outside the heart of Music City. Nestled in Lebanon, Tennessee, just east of the bright lights of Music City, this 1.33-mile oval is the largest concrete oval in all of NASCAR, and it was built to make a statement. Constructed back in 2000 at a cost of nearly $100 million, the track was envisioned as a modern superspeedway, an alternative for Middle Tennessee, offering fans a cleaner, more expansive layout than that old Nashville Fairgrounds short track just down the road. With the wide sweeping turns and generous banking, it was tailor-made for high-speed racing, long green flag runs, and strategic pit play. In its early years, Nashville hosted the Xfinity and the Truck Series, and even a stretch of IndyCar races, adding a diverse motorsports resume. But despite its promise, the track never secured that coveted Cup Series date until 2021. After nearly a decade in the dark, NASCAR brought the track back to life, awarding it a full National Series weekend, including that long-awaited Cup Series debut. Make no mistake, this place is different. Unlike the smoother, more predictable asphalt ovals, concrete doesn't give up grip as easily. It changes lap after lap. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Chris, fun fact, concrete dates all the way back to the Roman Empire, while asphalt roads didn't appear until 1848. That makes tonight's battleground one of the true gladiators. Between the ever-changing grip levels and the wide-open racing lines, Nashville's a modern-day coliseum of speed. So the question is, who's going to master that concrete, play the long game, and raise their sword or steering wheel in victory lane tonight?
Well, this is the first round in the round of 6 right here, and all of the drivers here on the track are going to have their work cut out for them tonight. They're going to have to navigate the rough, bumpy concrete surface here in Nashville. These drivers have 120 laps ahead of them tonight, and 60% of the fuel is going to make things very interesting because that puts them around 42 laps on a tank of fuel, and with the stage breaks at lap 40 and at lap 80, fuel mileage might be critical tonight. Drivers are going to be fighting hard for track position all race long, Ellis. And at the end of this thing, one driver will be holding that Gibson Les Paul trophy in victory lane.
It is going to be a wild night. Pit strategy. It's going to be one of the many stories we talk about. We're also going to be talking about the fact that there are just 3 races left in the season. Tonight begins the final round of 6 drivers being eligible for the championship. That's one of many stories to come up here in a minute, folks. But before we get to any of that, you know what time it is if you've tuned in to Slingshot TV long enough. Folks, rise and remove those caps if you're able for the playing of the national anthem. We'll be right back. Back here in the Slingshot TV booth, getting ready for 120 laps here around Nashville Superspeedway. Just moments away. But before that, we've got a lot of stories, folks, going on with NSRLA and the Downtown Auto Sale Series. The number one story being the points. Just 3 races remaining, and we're down to that final round of 6. Those 6 drivers on the left, they all have a shot to win this championship. Chris, what are these drivers going to have to do to get the job done over the next 3 weeks?
Yeah, very diverse schedule over the next 3 weeks. You've got tonight, Nashville Superspeedway races like an intermediate track, a little bit challenging, concrete surface, kind of single grooved. And then next week, heading to Atlanta, sort of like the mini super speedway in a way. You know, it's got some drafting style, not restrictor play anymore, but drafting style racing, and then, you know, to close it out in Phoenix. And the driver who's going to be at the top of these point standings at the end of this round right here and claim the championship, they're going to have to be, they're going to have to be on their game and bringing it at 3 very different racetracks at the close of this thing.
That is going to be something we're going to be looking at all night long. Any one of those drivers does indeed have a chance. Now, let's talk about some of the stories, the things that they're going to have to watch out for, along with those other nearly 15-plus drivers in the field tonight, as we look at our stories to follow here at Nashville Superspeedway. Chris, it's a track known for multiple grooves. That concrete can be friendly to giving drivers multiple opportunities, and as they say down in Nashville, there are many ways to skin a cat.
Yeah, I think that you will see some drivers maybe move up the track. I think restarts here are going to be kind of important. We'll kind of talk about that here in just a second. But, you know, it says multiple grooves with a question mark. I think that the heat might play a factor in possibly being able to move up the track here tonight. You're not going to see cars up on the wall here at Nashville than like you will at some other places. But, you know, maybe one lane up off the bottom is an option. It's definitely a challenge to be able to run high here, and we'll have to see how these drivers are able to make that happen here as the race goes on.
Also, we talked about that concrete surface. Just, I know temperatures could be a factor tonight, but why is this so different than any other track we really visit all season besides Bristol?
Yeah, Bristol, Dover, that's a concrete track as well. But I think this place, Ellis, you mentioned it, it is different in the sense that it's almost like it's a unique track, but it is also, it kind of races like a mile-and-a-half intermediate track in some regards. And the fact that it is concrete does make it very, very unique. In real life, you know, concrete tracks are typically a lot more bumpy. It's sometimes hard for certain drivers to get a certain feel that they, like on an asphalt track here on these concrete tracks. Dale Jr. has been very, very vocal about how he does not like concrete surfaces. So we might see a concrete specialist emerge victorious by the end of this thing.
Hey, and they might have to win it on a restart. Why are restarts so critical here? We kind of alluded to this earlier.
Yeah, restarts are very, very important. I think that, when you talk about the second lane, I think that might be where you see that restart be so important. I think some drivers might be able to roll around the outside of drivers on their inside. Sometimes the bottom lane can get stacked up here at Nashville. And that is your best time to pass right here, because track position and clean air, Ellis, here at Nashville, it is so important. If you want to be able to put yourself out into the clean air, you've really got to execute on these restarts. Making a pass, completing a pass here is one of the more difficult tracks to, clear somebody at. So, being able to maintain track position, I think, will be critical tonight, and executing on those restarts will also be very important as well.
And for those championship drivers, the rest of the field's got to watch out, but they're out there racing too. How worried are you if you're one of those championship drivers, that you could get caught up in a non-championship driver's, issues out on track, but also tonight, if you're one of those championship favorites, are you playing it safe, or are you absolutely going for the win?
Yeah, I think that, you really have to try to get all that you can get. When we look at this field of drivers right here, Christian Barnes, Evan Janik, Donnie Honeycutt, Jacob Cochran, they're all very, very close together. Dustin Lewis, Tyler Honeycutt, I think those drivers, they got a little bit of ground to make up, in the points. I think they'll be very aggressive in trying to, get everything that they can heading into the wild card next week that is Atlanta. So, yeah, definitely some different agendas. I think the drivers are going to go for it for sure tonight.
Hey, and we mentioned plenty of drivers not in the actual championship hunt, but hey, NSRLA, they're still keeping track of the rest of the contenders. They've got kind of a consolation bracket, so to speak, where the other drivers who are outside the playoffs, they're all competing for bragging rights and maybe a few extra prizes here. You can see Cody Riggs came into the series later on in the season, and he's just been lights out, Chris. And then I think the story of the past couple weeks has been Bradley Minor getting that big win in that thrilling finish last week at Talladega. So you can see here lots of drivers still fighting for quite a bit as the season winds down here in the next few races. So we're going to be watching all of these drivers, whether they're a championship hopeful or maybe just looking for a win, looking for bragging rights. But they've officially completed their qualifying runs, folks, and they are taken to the track right now. We're going to go look at that starting grid in just a moment, but before we get there, folks, we want to shout out folks in the chat already in YouTube. The comments are coming in hot and heavy. Of course, we're giving away a diecast tonight if we can get to 30 live viewers, and I know you can help us get there and absolutely make it happen. So let's get those comments in. Send the links to your friends and family. We already got Moki tuning in the chat. Hi, Moki. Hope your night's going well. Jacob Phillips saying, I'm here for the broadcasters. And sounds like Doodlebug and Renee Lewis rooting on Dustin Lewis. I think maybe they had a loss in the family this week, so thoughts with them. And they're rooting Dustin Lewis to go on and get that victory for Sadie. So we'll be rooting for him as well. And, hey, they're down at the track right now. Let's go ahead down to pit road to take a look at the starting grid. And it should come as no surprise, Donnie Honeycutt, with the most poles this season, adds to that as he claims the pole here at Nashville Superspeedway with a blistering lap time. Christian Barnes, another one of those drivers who certainly is in that championship conversation. He's starting second. Brandon V's, Chris, I've been impressed with this guy in that number 65. Gets faster and faster each week. Doesn't necessarily have that top 5 to show for it yet, but I think we definitely could see that coming tonight. Bradley Minor, last week's winner at Talladega, starting 4th in that number 46, looking to go 2 in a row here at Nashville Superspeedway. Michael Cole in the number 43. He was fast in practice. He backs it up with a great qualifying lap. He's coming from the outside of row number 3. And then another championship hopeful, Jacob Cochran, in that number 8 machine. Watch him on the long runs. And Chris, I think Nashville could favor him with that concrete surface that's going to eat tires. Number 8, or number 54, I should say, Tyler Honeycutt will be starting 8th. He's in this championship hunt as well. Jerry Salidas in that number 63. He's coming from the 9th slot tonight. And then we mentioned Dustin Lewis, another one of those championship hopefuls, racing for Sadie tonight. He's going to start from 10th.
Yeah, we'll look at the rest of the field right here. Starting on the inside of row 6, you got Brock Whiteman in that number 41 car. And on his outside, one of those championship drivers, Evan Janik, has to make up some ground early on right here. He's going to be rolling off in the 12th position. On the inside of row 7, in the next row right here, we got Cody Riggs. He's leading those contender points right there. And on his outside, we got Gino Volante starting in the 14th position. Next row right here after them, I do apologize, my sim has crashed right here. Andy Berry will be starting in 15th, and Ryan Bittler will be rolling off in the 16th position. And on the inside of the final row, row 9, will be Stephen Gill.
Stephen Gill bringing up the rear of the field, but look out for him to be fast, folks, right now. We're getting lined up. You can see that front row. They no longer see the pace car. That driver has made his left-hand turn down pit road. Now it's up to the flagman to get us started here at Nashville. Come down the front straightaway, and we are green in Music City. Donnie Honeycutt and Christian Barnes lead them across the start-finish line as they head down into turn 1 for the first time tonight. Honeycutt, that black and white number 22, draws a bead on that yellow line on the inside. He inches out to the lead. The battle's on for second. Christian Barnes draws even with the number 65 of Brandon V's. They set sail down into the third corner. It's a battle for second.
Yeah, Brandon V is trying to make up some ground right there on the inside lane. He's got a good run right here off of turn 4, but I think Christian Barnes will be able to utilize that momentum. I don't think he's going to be able to clear him into turn 1 right here. Yeah, they're going to battle out side by side. Back behind them, you got the number 96 car. That is Adam Pettit right here watching those guys. Pettit looking to the inside of V's right here, looking to get 2 for 1.
Pettit looking for the BOGO here underneath Brandon V's. Barnes thinks about lunging to the inside. Barnes gets a bumper full of Bradley Minor, and it almost was disaster for that championship hopeful Christian Barnes. That blue car right in the middle of the frame almost had trouble, but both of those drivers show excellent hand skills there and are able to save and hang on to those cars. But look at this battle going on back in fourth position. That's Bradley Minor right underneath Michael Cole, working their way through turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch. Cole gets the run on the outside, and it looks like it's going to be Cole's spot, but he's slog jammed right behind that number 27. Cole making the outside look pretty good right now, but he's going to try to jump down there. He's a little bit loose, and another car back there, Brock Whiteman, also had a moment, Chris.
Yeah, there's also some contact between Jerry Salinas and Jacob Cochran right there. Jacob was able to hold on to it, though. This is a battle going on right here for the 7th and 8th position. Salinas looking to the top side right here. Kind of see what I was talking about in the pre-race show right here. You're not seeing drivers up there near the wall, but you are seeing drivers in that second lane right there. Going to have to watch maybe if these drivers stay up there in that second lane, how that affects their tire wear as this race goes on right here. Is Salinas right here getting passed on the inside by the 54 car of Tyler Honeycutt. It just seems like that bottom lane, Ellis, is the way to go here early on.
Speaking of the way to go, backwards is not the way to go, Chris. And Christian Barnes right now, he's moving that direction. Back to 5th position already. You can see he's lost a couple spots. And quickly, Michael Cole, who got by him for that 4th position, has moved away, and suddenly Bradley Minor is the next car to challenge Christian Barnes in that number 27
Oh, we got trouble
machine.
in 3 and 4.
Oh, that's
Salinas
Jerry
is around.
Salinas.
Brock Whiteman involved as well, and I think one of our championship contenders, Dustin Lewis, might have some damage also.
See if we can check in on that number 33 machine and figure out what happened. But that happened going through turns 3 and 4. It looked like it happened in front of Lewis, but he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, this is an argument over space right here. It looks like Cody Riggs is going to charge corner entry. Yeah, look at that 12 car kind of close up right there. And yeah, it looks like Salinas was looking to make a later apex. Those two come together. Brock Whiteman involved in, yeah, Dustin Lewis does have some right front damage on that number 33 machine. Not sure how significant it is right here. He might be able to make a trip down pit road and get some of that damage fixed early on here. If you are going to run into trouble, this is the time for it to happen, Ellis. You can come down pit road and maybe see if you can get that right front fender pushed out a little bit.
Yeah, I think that damage is going to definitely be repairable on that number 33. So our Dustin Lewis fans in the chat, don't worry. He's going to be just fine as he, along with Brock Whiteman, make their way down pit road here. You can see that 33 working down that 45-mile-an-hour pit road. Meanwhile, up at the front, it's Donnie Honeycutt. He's led wire to wire, and that wire's only been 6 laps so far as we cross over onto lap 7. But Adam Pettit, Chris, he has been fast up from 5th position all the way to 2nd. I got my eyes on that 95 car, maybe looking for 96 car, I should say, looking for his 2nd win of the season. Watch out. We've seen him be fast multiple times this season since he's come into the series, and I just continue to be impressed as we watch what it looks like behind the wheel of that number 96 machine. Folks, it's a good opportunity, I think, to go ahead. Let's play a little bit of trivia for you folks tuning in. We are giving away a mystery diecast if we can get to 30 concurrent or live viewers tonight. But what do you say? Let's go ahead and give some trivia. I like this. It's a history question quiz, Chris, so see if you know the answer to this question. First question of the night is, Centennial Park in Nashville features a full-scale replica of which ancient Greek landmark? Is it the Pantheon, the Colosseum, or the Parthenon? Let us know. Is it A, B, or C? Get those answers in the chat. Just type a letter. Even if you don't know it, maybe throw out a guess. Doesn't hurt. Nothing going to hurt by guessing an answer. Going to learn a little bit about the city of Nashville tonight. Looks like it's going to be a pretty quick caution here, I believe, as the pace car light's potentially going to go off here, and you're going to see Donnie Honeycutt choose the inside. Chris, interesting thing here. The top 3 cars on the grid right now, they chose the inside. What does that tell you about how these drivers are feeling about this concrete track surface 8 laps in?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to those pre-race stories that we mentioned. We had in there multiple grooves, question mark, like if we were going to have them, you know, and weren't too sure. And I think our answer was kind of, the answer to that question was pretty obvious in those opening laps. Definitely seemed like that inside lane had the advantage, you know, once they got some laps on their tires. Now, I do think there is a chance, there is a possibility that, if the bottom lane does get stacked up, top lane can move on the restarts here. But it's hard to stay up there, Ellis. So I think that, maintaining position right down there on that yellow line, I think those drivers are really, really comfortable being down there on the inside of the racetrack.
I think that's definitely evidenced here by what we've seen. Michael Cole on the outside, warming up those tires. He's going to need all the grip he can get as he leads the way on the outside row here. But the restart control car, of course, going to be leader Donnie Honeycutt in that number 22. Jumps it right out of the box, and that is putting us under green for the second time tonight. Goes down to block the advances, the number 96, Chris, and it's going to leave the door open for Michael Cole in that number 43 on the outside. Will he use that outside line to his advantage? They're side by side. Honeycutt slips up, and it's going to open the door for the number 96 of Pettit as they set sail down the backstretch.
Yeah, Michael Cole had to move up right there to give Donnie Honeycutt some room. Donnie kind of missed the bottom right there in turns 1 and 2. Maybe a little bit of excess rubber on his tires right there. Oh, he's in trouble again right here on this restart. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the 22 right here. I'm going to see if we can... I do not see a black flag for the 22.
Big story.
Yeah, that is a big story for one of our championship contenders.
He is one of the championship favorites, of course, and we're going to check in and see if we can't figure out what's going on with Donnie Honeycutt with our pit reporters down there on pit road. But right now, that battle for the lead has continued to pick up. It's Michael Cole leading some of his first laps of the season here in Nashville. No better time to do it or better place to do it. He leads Adam Pettit there by about a car length. Pettit, really the biggest mover of the race so far, continuing to build speed in his campaign as he picked it up about halfway through this NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series, and he continues to just impress. And Chris, I feel like he's quiet. He's a quiet driver. He's just not a very flashy driver. He shows up quiet, head down, and he just gets the job done, and we continue to see him do that here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, we definitely do. And, I was on the track with him in the one race that I ran with these guys at Charlotte, and that was his first race with these guys also. And, yeah, I was really impressed with him there. And, when you're out on the track with these guys, you kind of get a different perspective. And, yeah, he's real smooth, real calm, real clean driver right here. As we're watching back here a little bit further in the pack right here, Christian Barnes under some pressure right here from Tyler Honeycutt, looking to the inside of that 27 car. But, yeah, he's definitely doing a great job right here. And I want to give a shout-out also to the guy leading this thing, Michael Cole. This is an impressive run early on right here for the driver of the 43. Started on the outside right there on that restart, and with Donnie Honeycutt's issues, he's looking really good right now.
Oh, boy. Battle for the lead continues to pick up. Watching one battle, I believe that's Evan Janik back there in Brandon V's. That is a battle currently for the third position. Janik about 4 or 5 car lengths up on Brandon V's right now, and V's continues to be fast. But, Chris, right now, that 60 car, he is the car on the march. He's the fastest car. Jacob Cochran in that number 8, he is fast as well, working his way through Bradley Minor, last week's winner at Talladega, setting his sights on Christian Barnes, and oh, so close to the back bumper of that number 27 is Jacob Cochran. He's going to think better of it and wait at least till the next corner to make it happen, Chris. If you're a championship driver, how hard are you racing your championship competitors out there as we watch this battle?
I mean, yeah, I think you're going to race those drivers harder than you will anybody else on the racetrack. You can't give any quarter to those guys. Not saying that you're going to race them dirty by any means, but yeah, you got to kind of make their life a little bit challenging. You got to make their life a little bit hard out there, and sometimes that requires you driving a little bit out of your comfort zone to be willing to do that. I will go ahead and kind of circle back to the issue with Donnie Honeycutt right there. Saw him have to make that pass through down pit road. We wonder if he came to pit road to make a stop or anything there, if he had some type of issue. I went back and watched, and Donnie actually, I believe, had a restart violation. He accelerated well before the restart zone, and that's going to that means he has to do a pass through down pit road, and we got a battle for the lead.
Battle for the lead picks up. No pit road penalties here for these two drivers. Adam Pettit working his way by, but it looks like Michael Cole's going to try the crossover on Pettit. That black and yellow number 43 lunges down to the inside, trying to get as close to that yellow line as possible, and he works his way to the inside. They're going to come off of turn 4 dead even, side by side. Which driver will lead at the line?
Looks like Pettit is going to have the advantage here at the line right here. Let's watch him down into turn 1 right here. See if Pettit is going to pinch the 43 of Cole. Not really, he's giving him a lot of room right there. They get a little bit close to each other right there on the exit of turn 2. But that's another thing to watch here tonight, Ellis, is that driver on the outside, the groove and the fast lane, it being so narrow here at Nashville. Yeah, you can see it right here, riding on board with Adam Pettit. You kind of have to be really close to that driver on the inside to make that outside lane work. And he's going to have the advantage right here down the front stretch, really close to clearing that 43 down into turn 1, and he will down into turn 1.
There's a new clear sheriff in town. That's Adam Pettit. He assumes the lead here on lap 18. Folks, we asked you what Nashville had a full-scale replica of. The answer to that is absolutely choice C, the Parthenon. Congrats to Renee Lewis. She got that question correct. We'll have more trivia about Nashville later in the night, but we got some big battles right around the 8th position. You saw it right when I saw it, Cam, but look at Jacob Cochran working to the outside of the number 12 of Cody Riggs. Cochran now trying to get by the number 65 of Brandon V. And that black Aflac machine slides up the track, opens the door up for that number 8 who's continuing to his march through the field. They got to be careful, though. Very close quarters off of turn number 2. Just inches separated those two cars, and we almost had an incident there, but both drivers kind of give each other a little bit more space, and they're going to continue that battle down into turns 3 and 4. No driver seemingly has the advantage here. Cochran might have rolled it off better through the corner, but V's gets that momentum from the outside. They're dead even at the line here on lap 20.
Yeah, and there you go. Jacob Cochran completing the pass. Cody Riggs going to follow suit right there. Brandon V's didn't have much choice other than to get in line. Things are really close between V's and Bradley Minor back behind these guys. They're able to get it sorted out. Bradley Minor has a little loss of momentum. That's going to enable Ryan Bittler to look to the inside right here, and Dustin Lewis. Doesn't look like that damage is hurting the 33 too much at all. In fact, it's V's right in front of them. Man, that was close.
Oh, my goodness. Ryan Bittler, give the man a aspirin and antacid after that one, because he is going to have some heartburn after almost running into the back of that number 65 of Brandon V's. And boy, yeah, right now he's laying chase to Dustin Lewis in that number 33. We got the Ryan Bittler crowd in the chat tonight. I know they usually watch every Bittler race on TV in the local bar. Chris, you remember the name of that bar? I remember they had the Jerry Garcia head on the car. I just can't remember what the name of the place was.
I am drawing a blank, and I hate that I am drawing a blank on it. I think it starts with an S. And
was it Sharky's? No, it wasn't Sharky's.
Hopefully one of these guys, hopefully somebody watching in the chat right here can help us out, because I'm having one of those senior moments right now.
Hey, let us know right now. Christian Barnes, he's the shark. He's smelling blood in the water on that number 54, Tyler Honeycutt. 2 championship contenders here, separated by probably less than 2 inches as they roll their way through the final set of corners onto the front straightaway. No driver seemingly has an edge at this point. Honeycutt's got the outside. Barnes has the inside in that Domino's number 27. And Honeycutt looks like he's going to slot right in behind the number 27. Maybe thinking better of rolling that outside line for too many corners. Chris, we've been talking about how that outside line might eat that Goodyear tire rubber away just a little bit more rapidly than getting down close to that yellow line. We watch Adam Pettit continue to lead the way here on lap number 23. He's got about 8 car lengths built up over Michael Cole, but Chris, Evan Janik, he's on his way.
Yeah, he definitely is on his way right here. Yeah, that top lane will eat the tires up a little bit, but I also think the bottom is just faster tonight. I think it's just going to be faster throughout the race right here. If you're able to, hook that yellow line, roll the bottom right there like we saw Evan Janik, just to let our viewers at home know, it's about 80 degrees ambient temperature here, as Evan Janik is going to be able to easily, he slides up the hill right there, puts that 43 car, Michael Cole, up into that loose rubber. The ambient temperature, Ellis, is about 80 degrees, and the track temperature right now is about 125 degrees. It's really hot out there.
Hot and slick, and it showed right there as Evan Janik saw him slide right up into Michael Cole almost. We'll see if Cole returns the favor here later on in the race, but looking a little bit further back through the field, you can see Tyler Honeycutt, championship hopeful. Honeycutt just tonight, just 20 points out of the championship, and with Atlanta, he's definitely going to have that circled on his calendar for next week. Any driver has a shot to win it, Chris, at Atlanta. Lots of drivers, pretty much every driver in the top 6 is definitely going to have that track circle as maybe a way to cement their claim on the championship, and Honeycutt is one of those drivers. It's just been a consistent season all season long for Honeycutt. Always talking about him being up at the front. And, hey, man, he almost got a win last week at Talladega, but pushed his teammate Bradley Minor to the victory instead.
Yeah, he did, and yeah, he was up there in the mix. Definitely gave it everything he could to get the win, but yeah, he's got some ground to make up, and he's off to a good start right here in the round of 6 tonight. Looking at his championship contenders, he's got Christian Barnes just up ahead, Evan Janik a couple of spots ahead. He has made up some ground right here on Donnie Honeycutt, who had that misfortune, but it's still early on right here. Yeah, this is good early showing for Tyler for sure. But yeah, I think that, like you said, I think he and Dustin Lewis, I think that they really need a good night tonight because, yeah, they got to have some ground to make up. But, yeah, they also need a really good night next week at Atlanta where, there might be some pretty significant shifts in the points with that super speedway style of drafting.
Absolutely. Very different from what we're seeing tonight is going to transpire in Atlanta next week. 1 week from tonight, it's going to be round 2 of the final 3-race round for the championship, and you're looking at one of those drivers who's fighting for it right now. Christian Barnes has been clicking away some fast laps. In fact, right now, Chris, he's the fastest car in the top 10. Barnes is on the move, and next car to have to realize that is going to be Michael Cole. How hard is Michael Cole going to fight to maintain that position? Looks like Barnes has the faster car right now. We've seen Cole really give these drivers trying to get by a hassle. He's racing for bragging rights tonight and pick up his first win, and hey, he's inching away from Barnes there a little bit off of turn 2. But Michael Cole, he's got a good run going tonight in that 43 machine.
Yeah, he definitely does. And, yeah, with about 12, 13 laps to go right here in this stage right here, stage break is at lap 40. The drivers will probably start turning up the wick right here if they've been saving some tires, try to get as many stage points as they possibly can. We've seen Christian Barnes kind of fading higher a little bit right here. You can see he's kind of charging corner entry a bit harder than Michael Cole is, trying to make as much ground as he can on the 43 up ahead. Michael Cole seems to be taking a little bit more of a direct approach down towards that yellow line. See the 27, he's up about half a lane higher right there through turns 3 and 4. So a couple different approaches, and meanwhile up ahead of these guys, the battle for the lead is kind of tightening up right here in the last couple of laps. Evan Janik has made up a little bit of ground here, slowly but surely. It's not a ton of ground, but he's just bite sizes out of that lead that Adam Pettit has.
Absolutely. Like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll, right? Evan Janik just taking one after the other right now, and he's right up to the back bumper of that number 96 machine of Adam Pettit. Now just 8 laps. I should say 9 laps separate us between right now and the end of stage number 1. Folks, let us know who you're rooting for. We got 25 of y'all watching on YouTube right now. I know you got some thoughts on who you want to win or who you think is going to win. Get those comments in. Let us know who you think is going to get the dub tonight. And with that comment, you're entered in to win a free NASCAR diecast as we watch this battle for the lead. But we got to get to 30 viewers. 5 more right now. Just 5 inches separated the back bumper of Adam Pettit from what might be the new leader, Evan Janik, as they sail down into turn number 1. Chris, there's a new sheriff in town.
There is, and yeah, that is a good omen right there if you are Evan Janik. 33 laps into this run right here. I know we had the one yellow, but that's a sign of a driver who is doing a really good job of keeping his tires underneath him right here to be able to, chase down the race leader, Adam Pettit, right there. And, that car's looking really good. That's a good feeling right there when you're able to have that much turn in the center of the corner, especially on a track like this, that really rewards, that center of the corner turn like Nashville does. You can kind of see Adam Pettit, it looks like he is experimenting a little bit right there into turn 1 up the hill. But, Evan Janik's got to be feeling really confident to take the lead right here on lap 34.
And really, you got to think about this. I think this is a good opportunity for drivers like Janik, drivers like Barnes, Chris. We've got predictable stages here, and you have to imagine that a lot of those drivers, including the ones that we're watching right now, like Tyler Honeycutt and Jacob Cochran, 2 championship hopefuls, they're just kind of feeling this track out for the first 40 laps before that first stage flag puts us under yellow. It's a good opportunity to kind of do some experiments. What do you see drivers doing out there so far tonight as we watch these different lines? We've seen folks high, we've seen folks low. Do you think folks are learning anything right now?
Yeah, I think that they probably are. I think that that's probably, very, very helpful to them to be able to do this here early on. And I think this is probably one of the best races that you could experiment with, honestly, because the way that the stages are going to work, we have even stages across the board. First stage will be, stage break will be at lap 40. Second stage break will be at lap 80. And then they'll have a stretch from lap 80 to 120. That's 40 more laps to the end of this thing. So it doesn't always happen here in NSRLA, but it does tonight. As we have a battle right here for the 5th spot. Jacob Cochran trying to grab that from Tyler Honeycutt, and I believe he will right here in 3 and 4. But Tyler Honeycutt says, "Not so fast, my friend."
Can you get any closer than that, Chris? I don't think you could have slid a sheet of paper between those cars. I know usually when I say that, I'm being a little hyperbolic, but I don't think I've ever seen two cars get as close to each other as they have and not have some sort of contact there. And I think they somehow managed to pull that off as they work their way off of turns 2. They're down the backstretch right now, folks. Recapping as we get ready to end stage number 1 here. It's Evan Janik leading the way, but this is a battle going on for the 5th and 6th position back in the field just a little bit. It's Janik, Barnes, Pettit, Cole, Tyler Honeycutt, and Jacob Cochran. If you're tuning in for the first time tonight, you're wondering what happened to Donnie Honeycutt. He's one of the championship favorites. He got a restart violation earlier in this race that sent him down pit road, and he's back in 14th position. Chris, the good news is he's got that caution coming and plenty of opportunity to get back in the game. So if you're a Honeycutt fan, don't give up. Don't be upset. Just let us know who you think's going to win the race in the chat right now, folks. For a chance to win, I can officially say we're giving away that diecast. We got to 30 plus in the chat. So, hey, we'll reveal what diecast that is later, but make sure to get your comments in as the battle going on right here. Boy, Michael Cole coming up on Adam Pettit. Chris, Adam Pettit, he's fallen off a step or two here as this stage comes to an end.
Yeah, and he might learn a few things right here in this stage about saving his tires. And, yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble right here. Going to get passed by Michael Cole, possibly by Tyler Honeycutt and Jacob Cochran as well as we work the final lap right here, coming up to the final lap here of stage 1.
And points are on the line for each stage. So right now, those playoff drivers, they're racing for points. This could be, in 2 weeks, the deciding factor in who wins the championship. Jacob Cochran sees at least one spot in front of him that could mean at least 1 point or maybe 2 if he can get by Tyler Honeycutt, one of his championship competitors. Up at the front, it's going to go to Evan Janik. But right now, this is the battle that we are watching as Tyler Honeycutt and Jacob Cochran continue to duke it out as they come off of the corner. Looks like Honeycutt is going to hold off Jacob Cochran for that 3rd position.
Yeah, and I think Michael Cole is maybe in trouble right here. We're going to go back to see if I can figure out what happened to him, but I think that Michael Cole could be out of fuel.
He's definitely looking like that. 43 is missing a step, not firing on full power here. Michael Cole, who's had a fast hot rod all night long, struggling to get that car going down the backstretch. Will he make it to pit road? We're going to have to wait and find out. But as we mentioned, Evan Janik takes home the checkered flag for stage number 1 here at Nashville Superspeedway. Barnes, Honeycutt, Cochran, and Minor, they're going to round out your top 5. And Chris, right now, Evan Janik definitely takes home the most points, 10 bonus points for winning that stage. That's a big victory for driver number 60.
It definitely is. That is a great stage. And nobody was faster at the end of that stage than Evan Janik and Christian Barnes. They were kind of head and shoulders above the competition. They did the best job of maintaining their tires over the course of that run. And Ellis, I can tell you right here, I'm riding on board with all drivers, and they are all in max fuel save mode right now. Going to keep our fingers crossed that all of them can make it back around to pit road. I think that caution that we had early on, I think that kind of, put them in a position where we knew it was going to be close for them to make it to the end of the stage. I think that kind of put them in a position where they felt like they could save a little bit to make it. But Michael Cole must have been a little bit too happy with the throttle, maybe right there, racing for position. And unfortunately came up a little bit dry right here. But I think everybody else is going to make it.
Hey, right now, these pit crews, they're going to be the ones racing for position here to get the fastest pit stop. Now, drivers can't necessarily control what their pit crews do, but they can make sure not to slide it across the line in the pit box and not get too close to that left-hand wall to give their crew as much space to work as possible. Evan Janik gingerly brings it down in his pit stall. He gets away cleanly, or at least gets into a stall cleanly, with the right side being jacked up on that car. He was your leader coming down. We'll see if he can't maintain that lead. Chris, I suspect no one's going to gamble with any sort of gimmicky pit stop here for 2 tires or no tires, right?
Yeah, I don't suspect we'll see that at all. Just looking at them at the end of that run right there, we did see some pretty significant fall off right there. I went back a couple laps ago and I saw, about a second, I would say about a second and a half of fall off from the beginning of the run to lap 40 right there. That's pretty significant.
Big fall off. Concrete wears the surface of these tires like no other track here at Nashville Superspeedway. Now, you're looking at Michael Cole. He's being scored as the leader, Chris, but he did pit under a closed pit road, and he's going to send him to the back, I would imagine, on this restart. Of course, he ran out of fuel and had to come down pit road early, which is why he did have to pit on that closed pit road. Looks like he might give it another go here. Doesn't hurt to come off and top off on fuel, especially if you're going to be further back in the pack. Maybe not. Maybe he's going to stay out here. So he lets the rest of the field by. Christian Barnes and Evan Janik, they're going to be the top 2. Janik is going to be the restart leader here, and it looks like he's going to choose the inside. Again, Chris, top 3, they choose the inside on the restart.
Yeah, they do. Jacob Cochran's going to take the outside right here. I think that Jacob is pretty fast. I think he's been a little bit mired back, hadn't been able to complete passes. It's really hard to pass from everything that I've seen right here. Difficult to complete the pass because that driver on the outside can really pinch the one on the inside. I think that Jacob Cochran maybe is going to try to utilize that here on this restart. Maybe he can gain a spot or 2. He might lose maybe 1 or 2 spots here on the restart, but if he comes out third, that would be a net gain for him. So I think that's probably his game plan right here. Try to grab what he can. But yeah, you definitely see how dominant that inside lane is tonight.
I think it's a great opportunity for Jacob Cochran here, working their way down the backstretch, getting ready for the green flag. Got some comments coming in. Jacob Phillips saying his first time tuning into this series. Jacob, we're glad you're tuning in with us. George Mock rooting on Dustin Lewis as well. Got Alt Maverick chiming in the chat. And hey, he's rooting for Evan Janik tonight. By the way, Connor Lyons says, welcome back. Or he says he's back. Welcome back, Connor. We're glad you are here. Hopefully you're having a good night. Right now, these 2 leaders are having a great night as they watch the pace car peel off. Janik's going to be the control car down the inside in that red-blue machine. He's waiting to enter the restart zone, and he gets there, and he goes. Jacob Cochran second on the outside. Is he going to try to head off the advances of that hard-charging number 27 of Christian Barnes? Dives to the inside and absolutely makes it stick, Chris. And look at that car glide through turns 1 and 2. Meanwhile, they've got a hornet's nest behind them down the backstretch.
Yeah, they do right there. You got the teammates, the 46 of Minor, the 54 of Tyler Honeycutt, battling it out right here after they battled it out for the win last week at Talladega. That's Tyler Honeycutt on the inside right there. One of the playoff drivers, one of our round of 6. Oh, Cody Riggs sideways off of turn 4. Donnie Honeycutt trying to go to the inside of him. Donnie is looking to regain some of that track position he lost after that stage 1 penalty.
Absolutely. Donnie Honeycutt, he's a man on a mission right now. Early pit road penalty, restart violation. Send him down pit road, trying to make every spot up that he can. Look at how hard he's charging in those corners. Adam Pettit, that number 96, also looking to make up some time here. Those 2 drivers going to be trying to thread their way through this field like a needle through fabric. And right now on lap 47, they've already moved up several positions since the restart.
Yeah, Dustin Lewis tagged the wall a little bit right there on the front stretch on entry to turn 1. He's all right, though. Donnie Honeycutt still the inside right here of Adam Pettit. Adam maybe learned some things right there on that previous run. Donnie drives it in hard right there into turn 3. Donnie's definitely looking to gain some track position right here, but I think that you want to also look after that tire life. We saw how much the tires gave up earlier in this thing right here, as I have no doubt that Adam Pettit definitely knows about after he started slipping back right there at the end of the stage. Ryan Bittler right here. Got that 9 car looking to the inside of Cody Riggs, one of our contender leader right now. And Riggs is able to hold him off right here off of turn 2.
Bittler trying to gain a position. But, Chris, right now, this is feeling like a little bit of a logjam caught up behind Tyler Honeycutt in that number 54. It's really allowed these drivers to really group up right around each other in a big sort of pack here as they enter down into turn number 1, as they also catch up with Christian Barnes. And Barnes is falling off the pace a little bit. Chris, I think we might have trouble with Evan Janik. What has happened to the number 60 machine as he's all the way back to third?
Yeah, it happened really fast. I apologize. I wasn't able to catch it when it happened. I'm not seeing anything that stands out as far as like a major issue goes. It just seems like maybe Evan Janik is not interested in pushing the pace maybe as hard as some of these other drivers are. We'll have to see right here. We're going to keep our eyes, keep on watching. You know, I noticed Christian Barnes has also fallen back right here as well, lost some ground to those people up ahead. And, you know, Janik and Barnes were head and shoulders, I mentioned it, above everybody else. 3 wide right here into turn 3. Donnie Honeycutt to the inside, gonna complete the pass. Have to wonder if this is just a tire conservation decision right here on the 60 and the 27.
Chris, that was a gutsy move we just saw from driver 22, Donnie Honeycutt. Could it be a championship winning move as Honeycutt moves his way up to 4th position after restarting all the way back in 14th earlier on tonight after a restart violation? Donnie Honeycutt, one of the big stories of the night. Another story we're watching is the number 33 of Dustin Lewis, with a solid run going on for Lewis currently. Dustin Lewis is in the lead. Yeah, he's very good run. He
passed Jacob Cochran when we were going back and looking through the, through those guys falling back. And, what a great recovery for Dustin Lewis, involved in that early caution, doing a fantastic job right here. A nice recovery. And I just think, Ellis, there's a lot of agendas going on right now. I just think I think Donnie Honeycutt is driving, pretty hard compared to maybe some of the other drivers out there. We can see all the ground he's able to make up on corner entry. It just seems like Evan Janik, Christian Barnes, they're not willing to push as hard as some of these other drivers are that came up through the field. But yeah, give a call to Dustin Lewis. A great recovery, and he needs to do this tonight, Ellis. He needs to gain points. He needs to have as good of a points night as he can right here to try to make up as much ground as he can right here on the championship.
Wouldn't this be a massive story? I know there's a lot going on for Dustin. Lots of fans watching in the chat, letting us know what's happened. We're thinking about y'all. Never easy. But Dustin Lewis looking like he is a man on a mission tonight in that bright orange number 33. He's setting sail on those cars you're watching right now, right behind him. Jacob Cochran and Donnie Honeycutt, they've fallen back about 10 car lengths. And yeah, whether it's because of sheer speed out of the number 33 or maybe just holding on to their stuff as long as they can here to get to lap number 80. Donnie Honeycutt, though, Christian mentioned it, he's a man on a mission as well. And I do think you're right about seeing multiple storylines play out here, multiple different goals, just 25 laps from the end of stage number 2 here with Dustin Lewis. Upset potentially in the making here for a championship driver in that number 33 machine. Donnie Honeycutt currently second. Adam Pettit third. Jacob Cochran and Evan Janik round out your top 5 right now. Hey, let's go back in the field just a little bit. Back to maybe 14th position on his very own birthday. Gino Volante out there. He's just cruising around, just having a good time. Good run tonight. And I think anytime you can get out there, Chris, and this is my personal experience, have a run where you're not involved in a crash, I call that a good night. And right now, Gino's kept that car clean and green. Right in front of him, Andy Berry and Brandon Vees, they got a little tangle going on there down the back straightaway.
Yeah, they definitely do right here. Brandon Vees looking to the inside of Andy Berry. Andy's going to give him plenty of room right here entering the corner. Ellis, we already have that Brandon Vees pushing up the hill a little bit right there, but they make it work. We already have over a half a second of fall off right now just in, the opening laps right here of this stage. I say opening laps. It's a little over 10 laps into this, but I think you're just going to continue to see that fall off continue to occur right here as Donnie Honeycutt is under some pressure right here from Adam Pettit right here. Donnie's the driver I've got my eye on right here on this stage run. Can he continue to maintain the pace that he had early on because he definitely made up a lot of ground right there. And, Adam Pettit is somebody I think that kind of went to school in that first stage, learned maybe what he didn't want to do to try to be around at the end of it.
Right now, Donnie Honeycutt in second place. What's a two-shot hole, Chris? What do you call it? Is that an eagle? When you're two, I don't know. I'm not a golf.
It just
person.
depends.
He drives like Callaway machine.
It just depends on what par it is. If it's a par 3, one shot. If it's a par 5, it's a 3 shot, right?
That sounds. I'm going to trust you on that one. Right now, though, Donnie Honeycutt, he's looking for a hole-in-one. He's chasing that lead, but he's got a hard-charging Adam Pettit and Evan Janik behind him. If you're Adam Pettit, you're not racing for a championship, Chris. You're just going out for a win. And if you're Donnie Honeycutt, does that make you nervous being in front of Adam Pettit, who doesn't really have anything to lose tonight?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it makes you nervous, especially considering Adam's reputation. He's been somebody I think these drivers trust to race around. Yeah, I mean you definitely want to be moving forward and not moving backwards. But yeah, I think he feels confident around Adam Pettit, even though he's not one of the championship drivers. He's definitely battled it out for race wins and is comfortable and respectful in heavy traffic right now. And I think we're kind of seeing right here, Donnie right here. Donnie's reeling in Dustin Lewis while Adam Pettit, Evan Janik, they kind of maintain pace with Donnie right here. And it's about a half a second has come off of that race lead that Dustin Lewis had here in the last couple of laps.
He is eating away at that lead. You can see now the orange number 33, who's been so fast since we went back under green here in stage number 2. He's the leader, but he's got a pack of cars catching him. They're eating about 1/10 of a second away each lap here, and we just got 19 laps left in stage number 2. So whether Dustin Lewis, Chris, wins the stage or not, I think it's been a successful battle here on stage number 2 as we watch Donnie Honeycutt continue to fight for that lead. A little further behind, I'm looking at Ryan Bittler and Brandon Vees. That's a battle for the 11th position. Vees just made his way by Ryan Bittler in that, I don't know what you would call maybe a self-portrait of him on the front of that number 9 machine. We got a self-portrait on one car and a duck on the other car. So drivers getting creative here with those paint schemes. Brandon Vees, Chris, he's been fast. He marches back into the top 11 after starting 3rd in that number 65 machine and falling back a little bit, but he's back up to 11th. So shout out to Vees in that number 65. Oh boy, Christian Barnes. He's getting close to someone. Is that Honeycutt?
Yeah, that's Tyler Honeycutt. And Christian Barnes, I think that's a driver that was saving a lot early on. He fell a lot further back than Evan Janik did. I think he was a little bit more aggressive in his tire saving. But, this is a good test right here. Even if he was saving, kind of see right there, Tyler Honeycutt's able to battle back on the outside. Tyler Honeycutt has been pinching really, really, hard on that driver on the inside. And, I think that's kind of what you have to do if you want to run side by side. But yeah, put Christian Barnes up into the 6th position. He'll make the pass, and we got a battle for the lead.
Battle for the lead is on. Donnie Honeycutt wants it. Dustin Lewis has it. Which driver is going to win out here? Just 16 laps remaining in stage number 2 here at Nashville Superspeedway. How long will Donnie Honeycutt be patient as he tries to work his way by the number 33? Dustin Lewis definitely suffering from maybe a little bit heavy tire wear, but Chris, they both got several other drivers chasing them who I think might have a little bit fresher Goodyear rubbers right now.
Yeah, Evan Janik, Adam Pettit, Jacob Cochran, they're all following right behind these guys right here. You can see right here, Dustin Lewis kind of close up on Donnie Honeycutt in the middle of turns 3 and 4 right there, riding on board with Adam Pettit. Yeah, you can kind of see the choo-choo train right here down the front stretch. We'll see what they look like down here in turns 1 and 2. Yeah, everybody right around the yellow line. Yeah, Dustin Lewis even touching that yellow line just slightly right there. But you can see that 33 car kind of wiggling, kind of moving up the track just a little bit. Maybe a little bit of tire wear affecting the handling of that 33 car. Evan Janik looking maybe to make a pass right here to the inside of Dustin Lewis.
Janik looks to the inside off of turn number 4, swings it to the left, right underneath Dustin Lewis, trying to hold on to that second position as Lewis. Janik wants it right now. Janik, a championship hopeful, along with Lewis and Honeycutt in front of them. Looks like he's going to complete that pass. And Chris, Lewis has no break in sight as 2 more cars look underneath him down the backstretch. That's going to be Pettit and now Cochran up into the top 5 tonight as well.
Yeah, that train, it's going to be impossible, I should say, to defend against that train right there as Dustin Lewis is going to slide back behind these guys right here. See if he can get right here in this 5th position, kind of settle in right here. This would be good stage points if he's able to maintain this position right here. Ellis, I just want to give an update real quickly on the times, the tire wear right here. We mentioned before about 10 laps ago maybe, that these drivers have fallen off a half a second. Well, it's another half a second now. It's 1 full second off of their fastest time at the beginning of this run. Just showing how significant the tire wear is here tonight.
Absolutely. Right now, another battle going on. This is a battle for the 7th position. You're watching it. Bradley Minor and Christian Barnes. That is last week's winner, Bradley Minor, pulling off a crazy, crazy win at Talladega. Is Bradley Minor. Chris, big battle going on here. Christian Barnes, how patient are you now? Just trying to get to the front with less than 10 laps or about 10 laps to go.
Yeah, I think that he probably wants to get this pass done as quickly as he can. The drivers up ahead of him, Donnie Honeycutt, Evan Janik, the rest of the top 5 up there, they're still running really close together right there. So if they get to racing, Christian Barnes might feel like he might have a chance to chase him down here in the final laps. This also might be a good, we mentioned drivers going to school in the first stage. I think Christian Barnes might have gone to school in this stage. We saw how fast he was at the end of the first run, and he's really fast here as well. You can see that center of the corner speed. He's going to complete the pass right here, but I question whether or not maybe he fell back a little too hard, and won't be able to make up all this ground right here as he kind of gets really close right there to Bradley Minor. It's going to be difficult for him to make up the ground that he has to over 4 seconds behind the race leader now.
4 seconds behind the race leader, but hey, they got a break coming up in just less than 10 laps right now. They're working their way to the end of stage number 2. We're breaking the stages 3 ways, 3 equal ways tonight, 40, 80, and then all the way to the end at lap 120. Right now, it's Donnie Honeycutt leading the way. And Chris, I know these drivers, they're going to be excited to come down pit road just about 9 laps from now and get some fresh tires. Does your mentality change as we kind of look forward to that? Does your mentality change that final run, knowing that you don't have maybe another stop coming up and you got to make what you have last, and it could be the very final pit stop? Are you a little bit more conservative?
Yeah, possibly, but one thing that I will admit I've kind of neglected here, Ellis, was that we haven't had a caution here in this second stage, and these drivers might have been saving a little bit of fuel early on right there, because I saw some drivers really close, and I wonder if that's why we saw Christian Barnes drop back as hard and as quickly as he did. Maybe that wasn't a tire conservation move so much as it was a fuel conservation move. Same thing when we kind of saw Evan Janik drop back really hard, really fast earlier as well. I think that's an important thing to keep our eyes on right here as we get close to the end of this stage. Is, can everybody that we see right here that's been battling it out right here for this stage win? Oh, Donnie Honeycutt in the wall off of turn 4. That's going to enable Evan Janik to take the lead. Big moment for Donnie Honeycutt. That's really the first serious contact we've seen on the exit of turn 4 all night long. But, Chris, that car just kept pushing up out of the corner. There was nothing Honeycutt could do, even getting out of the throttle, to prevent that car from careening into that outside wall. I think we know where these drivers' tires are. And, Chris, we mentioned Honeycutt being one of the drivers who was pushing it early, starting outside the top 10 on that restart, looking to get every inch of track position as possible. And is he paying the price right now? I mean, maybe a little bit, but he's still pretty fast right here at this stage of the run. So I think that's pretty impressive, considering how hard he was pushing. He's able to maintain right here pretty good pace right here, running in the 3rd position. So if I'm Donnie Honeycutt, I would say mission accomplished. He drove pretty hard early on, but he gained back the track position. If he can kind of come out right here at the end of this stage running close to where he is right now, I would be very, very happy with that if I was the driver of the 22.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Honeycutt just got to get to the end of this stage and then make a run. Final dash maybe for the checkered flag. It might be in sight for any of these drivers, Chris. I'm just looking through the field, and I really don't have a driver that seems to be running away with this. I'm looking at anyone in the top 7, 8 that I think have a legitimate claim and a chance to win this race based on speed alone. So, folks, if you're just tuning in, sure, we're only on lap 76, but it's a short race, 120 laps, and I think this finish is going to be as wild or crazier than last week at Talladega as we watched Donnie Honeycutt trying to get underneath Adam Pettit. And I believe that was actually Adam Pettit moving a little bit further back. And Chris Pettit was one of those drivers who was falling back at the end of stage number 1 as well.
Yeah, he was. You kind of see the tires giving up right there on the 96 right there. Donnie Honeycutt push. Contact between the 96 and the 8.
Oh, my goodness. How did those two drivers, championship hopefuls, hang on to it? Fellas, watch out. Cochran in the middle of a Pettit Honeycutt sandwich there, and he is going to think better about being the pastrami between that rye, Chris.
Yeah, he definitely is right there. Yeah, drivers kind of arguing over space right there, entering turn 3. But yeah, a great job by all to hang on to it right there. Adam Pettit's got some left rear damage after that contact. Saw a couple really dicey moments right there. Donnie Honeycutt on the apron trying to complete the pass. It's a little sketchy here at Nashville to do that, but he was able to hold on to it right here. Adam Pettit's going to try to get back after him right here as I think that we're right now 2 laps to go right here in stage number 2.
2 laps to go in stage number 2. Who is going to win it here? Evan Janik is leading the field by over a second right now, but points on the line. Donnie Honeycutt trying to hang on to him. Adam Pettit trying to get one more, and then Jacob Cochran. And Chris, Dustin Lewis, talk about maybe the best pit call we've seen, and really the best job. Dustin Lewis, he's in 5th position, hanging on to that top 5, earning as many points as he can tonight. Look out for him next week at Atlanta. He's not out of this championship hunt at all right now. Donnie Honeycutt sees the white flag here in stage number 2. Can he hold on to that second place as Evan Janik leads the way down the backstretch? You can see no one else in that frame right now. Janik off to the races to win, but look at Michael Cochran trying to work his way by a number 65 of Brandon Vees.
Yeah, he's trying to work to the inside right here. Not going to be able to do it right there, though, as Evan Janik's going to come off the corner. He's going to receive the green and white checkered flag, and Donnie Honeycutt is going to hold off Adam Pettit for 2nd. Pettit will be 3rd, Jacob Cochran in 4th, and Dustin Lewis, Ellis. Man, what a great run for him in this 2nd stage. He was able to maintain that 5th position like we were able to talk about and get a lot of valuable stage points here tonight.
Caution flag waves to put an end to stage number 2. Meaning we're headed to the final stage here at Nashville Superspeedway. Championship hangs in the balance with just 3 races remaining, and you're looking at one of the championship leaders, Evan Janik, and we're going to update you on those championship drivers here momentarily. But we're going to take just a quick second before pit stops to hear from our partners at Whiplash SimCams, who make all of this production possible. Folks, we'll be right back after the quick break. Don't go anywhere. Caution flag pit stops underway here. What might be the final stop of the night, the money stop for these drivers as we get ready to take the green flag for the final stage. Evan Janik, Donnie Honeycutt, Adam Pettit, Jacob Cochran, those are the top 4 right now, making that left-hand turn down into their pits, folks. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Cam Gillens, and things are busy on pit road right now.
Yeah, they definitely are right here. This is a very, very important stop probably the most important stop of the race right here. If things work out in the final stages as they did in the second stage, this could be it. As these drivers make their way off of pit road, it's going to be close between Pettit and Janik, and I think Adam Pettit, Ellis, is going to win the race off of pit road.
That number 96 is the king of the hill as they work their way off of pit road. Mark him up to the lead. Janik's going to come off second. Donnie Honeycutt will be third. Meanwhile, Jacob Cochran and Tyler Honeycutt round out your top 5, folks. We got the chats coming in hot and heavy. Renee Lewis and Doodlebug both rooting on Dustin Lewis in the chat, racing for his Sadie girl tonight, riding on board with Dustin. We'll be wishing him the best and maybe a little bit of extra energy in that car tonight for the number 33 machine. Folks, if you haven't hit that subscribe and like button, if you're tuning in for the first time, or, you know, Chris, something I learned as I was looking through our YouTube stats, we have a lot of people tune in regularly, but you know what they haven't done, Chris? They haven't subscribed.
What?
How easy is it to subscribe?
It's so easy. It doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is press that subscribe button, and it helps the channel out. It helps put your drivers that you're cheering on in front of more eyes every single week. So, yeah, we encourage you to do that.
Absolutely. Right now, the crew chiefs on top of those pit boxes, encouraging their drivers to do everything they can to hit that go fast button. Donnie Honeycutt and Adam Pettit being two of those drivers, Evan Janik and Jacob Cochran. Chris, how aggressive do you think Jacob Cochran gets here, knowing this is the final stage and we're going to have less than 40 laps to the dash for the checkered flag? I suspect he might be one to watch here.
He could be, you know, and I think that we'll also see some different agendas again, maybe at the beginning of this thing. These drivers have been saving really hard right here since they exited pit road in high gear, coasting around, pushing in the clutch. You know, and I think that maybe you'll see some drivers maybe go into max save mode early on here to try to be able to put themselves in the fuel window because we know that's really, really close. So some might be pushing forward while those other drivers are saving.
36 laps to go when they take the green flag. Pace car's off. Restart's going to be on Adam Pettit on the inside. Waits for the restart zone. Halfway through, he mashes that throttle. He gets away cleanly with the whole shot, but that battle for second heats up with Donnie Honeycutt on the outside. Janik has problems. Blown motor for Janik. Did he miss a gear? That number 60 machine, I saw smoke fly from underneath it, Chris. That might be the end of the championship run for Evan Janik. We'll check in on that situation momentarily. But right now, Adam Pettit jumps out to a lead. Donnie Honeycutt lurches forward to the back bumper. He's a car length off as they hit the front straightaway.
Yeah, Donnie Honeycutt right there, looking at his rearview mirror, seeing Jacob Cochran, and back behind Jacob Cochran, you got Tyler Honeycutt, Christian Barnes battling it out right here for the 4th position. While this battle is going on right here, I wonder, Cam, if it's possible if we could go side by side right here to be able to maybe show the viewers what happened with Evan Janik right here. We're going to be riding on board with that number 60 machine right here. See him looking ahead at Adam Pettit right here, second gear as they approach the restart zone. Going to accelerate in this restart zone, shift into third gear here, and then when he goes from third gear into 4th gear, you're going to see it right there. It goes down to second, it seems, and yeah, that engine is going to expire when that happens.
He crossed the gates, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's running an H pattern or not, but yeah, if he is, that's definitely you know, something that can happen right there. So very, very unfortunate for Evan Janik. He will be able to settle, looks like, tonight for you know, maybe a 14th place finish if everything finishes the way it is. And he did get a lot of stage points tonight, so you know, this isn't the end of his championship by any stretch. You know, he's going to walk out of here. It could be worse, is what I'm saying. You know, it's definitely not ideal night, but it could be worse for him.
One car, Tyler Honeycutt, could have been worse for him, Chris, off of turn number 2. That thing was almost full 180. We could see the 54 head on, and that's not what you want. And right now, the 65 of Brandon V's also sees that 54 head on. Definitely not what he wants as he gets into the wall. But boy, that racing is getting tight on the front straightaway. V's, after starting back in the 3rd position, or up in the 3rd position, fell back a little bit. But he's working his way back up into the top 10. And once more here as he works his way on the outside of Tyler Honeycutt, right in front of Ryan Bittler, who's got the best seat in the house right now, Chris. Neither one of these drivers is giving way.
Yeah, they're not right here really knowing that, hey, this is the final stage. It's time to get all the track position that you can possibly get right here. Tyler Honeycutt, yeah, you can see that car get really well through the center of turns 3 and 4. He's looking to the inside right here. I think he's going to complete the pass. And looking up ahead right here, here's the fan favorite all night tonight, Dustin Lewis. Clearly up into the 4th spot. And we've got a battle going on for the lead up ahead of them. Adam Pettit under pressure right here. Got Jacob Cochran looking to the outside. Cochran's going to slide in line behind the 96.
I like this line, Chris, that Cochran's run the last 2 corners, diamonding the corner, running it a little bit higher center, and then rotating down to the bottom and getting that run off, and looks like it's going to propel him to the victory. I think he might have learned something those first 2 stages, because the fastest car on the track right now is certainly Jacob Cochran in that number 8. We're talking about Cochran being one of those drivers who just kind of slowly moves his way through the field and is good on long runs. I'm curious to see if we see that really be an advantage here, as we have just under 30 laps remaining here tonight. 29 laps to go at Nashville Superspeedway. 3 races left remaining in the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series Championship, with 6 drivers eligible for that championship right now. 3 of them are in the top 4.
Yeah, 3 of them definitely in the top 4. It's always funny how this happens, Ellis. You know, the championship contenders always, when you get down to the final stages of the season, they find themselves up there near the front and usually occupy those first few positions right here. And Dustin Lewis is going to complete that pass on Donnie Honeycutt and move himself up into a podium position. Dustin Lewis, this is, one of the more impressive runs we've seen from him all seasons. Brandon V slides up the hill right there, almost into Cody Riggs. But you have to be impressed right here with Dustin Lewis making it happen right here late in the season, and really showing what he's got right here when it matters.
He's the fastest car on track right now, Chris. We'll see where they swing out on this lap, but that last time by, Dustin Lewis was the fastest car on track, and it looks like that is going to be the same case this time by. Chris, that number 33 has had something this entire race, but he has reached deep into the bag tonight here in this final stage, and he's going to try to make a pass for second, racing with a little bit of extra energy in that number 33 tonight, Chris.
He definitely is, and I'm going to give a shout out right here. It's kind of hard to see the text on the hood of that 33 car. It says, "We will miss you, Sadie. You were the best dog." And he's definitely doing Sadie proud tonight right now in that 33.
Absolutely. What a story it would be if that number 33 coming in really 5th in the championship points could vault his way up near the top with a win tonight, or even just a second place. You're going to be happy with that. I know he's going to want more here as we come down to just 25 laps to go. Y'all are chiming in the chat, rooting on Dustin. Connor Lyons rooting for Dustin. Renee and Doodlebug in here as well. Going to be giving away that die cast here. And Chris, it's a Daniel Suarez Tootsie's die cast. We are in Nashville, the home of that Tootsie's Lounge, and I know that's one of my favorite paint schemes, a nice bright pink paint scheme. But we're giving away that 99 Daniel Suarez car later on in the evening, so make sure to get those comments in. Donnie Honeycutt trying to just hold on at 3rd position right now, but Dustin Lewis, Chris, he continues to absolutely be one of the fastest cars on the track right now. Looking at other battles going on, Bradley Minor a little bit further back, and that battle box, sorry I missed that, Cam. That battle box tells the story, and I think we have just about 24 laps left, and what are we looking at, 18 laps for Dustin Lewis to get to Cochran, but he's there.
Yeah, it's going to update right here at the line, and it's going to be a lot less than 18 laps right here. He got through 3 and 4 really well that time. We'll see what it updates to right here as they come across the line. And it's showing 1 lap now. So you saw the big jump that he made that time by Ellis. He was significantly faster, about 3/10 faster than Jacob Cochran.
Dustin Lewis racing with a heavy heart tonight, looking for that lead. He's found something extra in the bag, in the tank tonight, if you will. Chasing down Jacob Cochran. Multiple win for Cochran this season. It's no wins for Dustin Lewis. It would be his first win of the season. Coming down with just 22 laps left in Nashville. They're going to go by in a hurry. Dustin Lewis going to try to take advantage of that speed as quickly as possible. But right now, Jacob Cochran trying to hold off a hard-charging Dustin Lewis. How hard is Jacob Cochran looking in that mirror and driving from it right now, Chris?
Yeah, you can't help but look, especially with somebody as close as Dustin Lewis is right here through turns 3 and 4. That's what Dustin Lewis wants. He wants to have Jacob Cochran looking in that mirror because the more time you spend in that mirror, the more likely it is that you might miss your marks into the corner. And on a line-sensitive racetrack like this one, where you really cannot afford to miss your marks, that could be critical right here racing for the win.
And right now, Dustin Lewis just hoping that he hasn't used everything he's got. We're about halfway through this fuel run, halfway on tires. And Chris, we've been talking about it. This is where you start to see the tire fall off really kick in. And we're seeing that right now, about 0.5 of a second fall off for some up at the front. So that tire degradation already happening. Dustin Lewis still within 3 or 4 car lengths striking distance. But Jacob Cochran looks like he's opening it up now, Chris. We know Jacob Cochran. We followed him for many seasons, and I can't think of any better at really saving their tires as a run goes along. And are we starting to see maybe that same story play out tonight here, just in a different chapter?
Yeah, he looks really good right now in the last couple laps right here. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because we know how good he has been at that. Over the seasons that we've watched him here on Slingshot TV. I'm kind of watching from the overhead perspective while, these guys have been, kind of running close to each other. Jacob Cochran is probably driving it into the corner easier than anybody else in the top 5 or 6 positions. As we got a battle for second right here, Donnie Honeycutt is going to make the pass on Dustin Lewis through turns 3 and 4, put Honeycutt up into P2. Dustin Lewis now in P3. It seems like Jacob Cochran has definitely been, very, very, light on his feet, really, really easing it into turn 1 and into turn 3.
Talk about a driver who's been quiet all night. Back in 11th place, we brought him up a couple times. Andy Berry, starting in the 15th position, moved up to 11th. And I just want to take a second to talk about Andy. We don't necessarily talk about him a lot during these races. He's kind of a quiet driver and generally keeps his nose clean as he gets a little bit of the wall there. Maybe you heard us talking about him. But this guy organizes this series along with several other admin, but the work these guys do is absolutely incredible. They're kind of the unsung heroes of the series. They're the ones to set the schedules, to deal with all the issues, to update the points, to do everything that they do in their social media and Discord channels. It's pretty incredible. And Andy's kind of the tip of the spear when it comes to that. But just a shout out to him as he works his way by Gino Volante on his birthday. But move Barry into the top 10, Chris, and just kudos to him. Don't get to talk about him a lot, but seeing him have a good top 10 run tonight feels good.
It definitely does, and he won the opening race of the season in dramatic fashion at Daytona as we got a battle going on right here for the 3rd position. But, I'll give a quick shout-out as well to Andy Berry for, it's been really cool to, when we come to broadcast these series, these leagues, Ellis, you get a sort of behind-the-scenes glimpse. We don't see everything behind the scenes, but we do get a little bit. And, NSRLA is it's a very well-organized league. Andy does a great job, and all the league admins do a great job of, running everything. And so, I think that's definitely a great shout-out to him as well. And, looking forward to seeing everything these guys have to offer here in the last few races of the season. And they're not disappointing at all tonight right here as the battle for the lead is kind of intensifying a little bit right here.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what I'm looking forward to watching? I'm looking forward to watching the battle for the lead up front because Donnie Honeycutt is the fastest car on track. He's just ever so slightly eating away at that lead. We talked about, think of the Tootsie Roll Pop, the sucker. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll? Well, or the Tootsie Pop? Right now, everyone matters. Donnie Honeycutt just ever so slightly chewing into that lead now with just 14 laps remaining. We got a joke from Connor coming in the chat, Chris. I was waiting for it. What do you call birds who stick together. Folks, get your guesses into that question right now in the chat. What do you call birds who stick together? We are giving away that Daniel Suarez diecast here in just a little bit. Last chance to get your comments in and be entered in to win that. Get those guesses in for Connor's joke of the night. Donnie Honeycutt, Chris, that lead has stabilized. It looks like Cochran. Now, that time by was about 1/10 of a second faster. We're going to get a better glimpse here if that has changed or remained the same as they cross the line again. That time by, Cochran ran a 32, I believe that was a 32.6, and then just a little bit faster than Donnie Honeycutt that time by.
Yeah, but I think the driver to watch right here is Christian Barnes in the third spot. You know, before... we kind of noticed Donnie Honeycutt. Christian Barnes made the pass on Adam Pettit, and these last couple of laps, that 27 car has actually been the fastest car on track right here. He has got his work cut out for him, I think, if he wants to be able to race Jacob Cochran for the win right here. Working on 11 laps to go at this point. He's about 0.8 of a second behind Jacob Cochran. He's got to complete the pass on Donnie Honeycutt fairly quickly, and Ellis, you know this. You know, I know this as well. Anybody who's been out here, catching them's one thing, passing them's another. And, you know, if he's able to complete the pass fast, this thing could get interesting.
He cannot wait too long to get by Donnie Honeycutt. That is going to be critical for Christian Barnes. If he's going to get this win, if he's going to at least get to the back bumper of Cochran, getting every inch of the track, that's for darn sure. But it puts him back into the clutches of Adam Pettit there in that number 96. Chris, how much has the handling changed on that number 27 as it got to the back bumper of the number 22? How does that impact the race car?
Especially at a track like this, Ellis, where the fastest lane is right around the bottom. Everybody's running the same line. You don't have any other options to go fast really around here. It's just going to make that car push. It's going to make it really tight. There's a lot of dirty air running in the wake of the 22. A lot of dirty air on the nose of that 27. You see him right here. He's trying something a little bit different, trying to get a headlight into the wind, put the right front in the wind, then try to stick the left front a little bit lower, and that's going to get him a run right here off of turn 2, Ellis.
Barnes gets the run into turn number 3. To the inside he goes. Can he keep it down to that yellow line, or will Honeycutt have the momentum off the corner? Honeycutt gets the wall just a little bit. That's going to allow Christian Barnes, I believe, to take second spot out right here. Now 8 laps remaining. We're going to be keeping an eye on that battle box, on that pace here in the next lap or so. We'll have a good feel for whether Christian Barnes has enough in the tank to get to the back bumper of Jacob Cochran. 2 championship contenders. The top 3 right now are 3 of the championship favorites. Evan Janik out of this race earlier with a blown engine on a restart gone wrong. It's opened the door for these drivers to take advantage of it. That time by, what do the numbers tell us here for Christian Barnes? They continue to have, it looks like, a similar pace that time by, but Barnes, he's just under a second back now from Cochran, Chris. He's giving it everything he's got.
Yeah, he's got to get over 1/10 of a second every single lap. He's putting together a good lap this time right here. Previous lap wasn't as good. This lap looking pretty good right here as you got Adam Pettit looking to the inside of Donnie Honeycutt. That's for the final step on the podium, the 3rd spot. Let's see this time as they come across the line right here. Oh, yeah, he took a chunk out of it that time, almost 0.3 of a second.
He's going to need a little bit more than that, though, because we've got only 6 laps remaining here in Nashville Superspeedway. I don't know what you call it, if it's a penultimate or semi-penultimate race with just 2 races remaining tonight, Chris. Christian Barnes is eating away at that lead even more right now. A little bit of the wall there for Barnes. He's going to have to regroup.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him. He lost a significant amount of time right there on that lap. About everything that he gained the first half of that lap, he lost on the second half. About 0.5 quicker right there, you know, and he's going to have to... He's going to have to put a better one together this time right here. As, you know, our battle box says 6 laps rejected pass with 5 laps to go, coming to 4 laps to go. And he is driving it really deep into turn 3. If he's able to make it rotate right here, yeah, this is a little bit better lap this time right here. We'll see what it changes to this time by. They're pretty close on time. Yeah, almost dead even. He was about 4/1000ths of a second slower that time, Ellis.
4 laps remaining, and he has 5 laps on that battle box. Has Christian Barnes run out of steam, or does he have enough left in that tank to make this happen? Now coming to 3 laps to go, 2 different lines that these drivers are running. Chris, it looks like Barnes can get it down a little bit closer to that yellow line and hold it down there a little bit longer. 3 laps left. Barnes reaching to see if he can't make it happen. What does the battle box tell us this time? Has it changed? The answer is still at 5 laps. He's trying something different, Chris.
Yeah, he is right there. He was about 2/10 quicker that time. But, he gained a significant amount right there. Didn't get through 1 and 2. I think that little change in line right there didn't quite work out the way that he wanted to. But you mentioned it, Ellis. He kind of had to try something. He kind of had to do something right there as they're kind of status quo, kind of maintaining even pace right here on this lap.
2 laps left. Barnes just searching, trying to find some way to get around. Look how hard he drives it in. He gains a lot of track position on entry. Will he lose it on exit? I don't know, Chris. He stays within reaching distance here with a lap and a half left. I know that says 7 laps, but he's found something here.
Yeah, that was a good 1 and 2 right there. That's probably his best turns 1 and 2 from the last 5 laps. He kind of maintains right here in 3 and 4, maintains where he's at right here. That's going to put him somewhere pretty close right here as they get the white flag.
Whiplash Simcam's white flag waves. Barnes giving it everything he's got. He's not waving his white flag. Can he make something of this? They set sail down the backstretch. That might be it for Barnes.
Yeah, that's going to do it right there. He got up in that loose stuff, got up in the marbles right there, and that's going to enable Jacob Cochran to have a little bit of breathing room right here entering the final corner.
Barnes tried everything he had tonight, but tonight it's Jacob Cochran with the #1 hit. He goes platinum in Music City and wins at Nashville Superspeedway. Christian Barnes second, Adam Pettit #3 tonight. And boy, Chris, I think we've got some championship favorites here, as 3 of the top 4 were your championship contenders out of those top 6. And oh man, Cochran's not the only winner, folks. Tonight, Doodlebug takes home the Daniel Suarez diecast. Thanks for getting those comments in, folks. Before we talk about those winners, Chris, did you see the answer to Connor's chat? His question: what do you call a bird who stick together? Velcros.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got. Actually, that was a pretty good one. I'll give you credit. For that.
Thanks for bringing us the jokes every single week, Connor. We appreciate it. Jacob Cochran is going for a long slide right here down the front stretch.
Jacob Cochran celebrates that victory with the slide through that infield grass here at Nashville Superspeedway. A thrilling finish. Christian Barnes gave it his all. Of course, we're going to talk to Christian Barnes along with third-place finisher Adam Pettit. And absolutely, we're not going to miss out on that victory lane interview from Jacob Cochran. Folks, we're going to take a quick second to get everything set up. Before we go, though, before we get those interviews, we're going to hear from our partners at Downtown Auto Sales Series and Diesel Laptops. They make this series possible for NSRLA. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with those post-race interviews. If you're shopping for dependable used cars in Cumming, Georgia, start with the team you can trust, Downtown Auto Sales, right at 208 Atlanta Road. They've got something for every driver: reliable daily commuters, family SUVs, even upscale luxury options. All priced fairly and backed by a 4.6-star Google rating. The staff is friendly, process is easy, and if they don't have exactly what you're looking for, their car locator service will track it down for you. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturdays until 4. Stop by or give them a call at 470-239-8979. Downtown Auto Sales. Quality cars, zero hassle. Is downtime costing your fleet money? Then check out Diesel Laptops, the industry leader in diesel diagnostics since 2014. From rugged handheld scanners to mobile apps and full repair databases, they give you the tools to read the codes, run DPF regens, and fix issues fast on your phone, tablet, or laptop. Fix more, worry less, keep trucking. Visit diesellaptops.com. Back here live from Nashville Superspeedway. We've seen the checkered flag fly, which means it's time for our post-race interviews with our top three finishers. Chris, I was able to catch up with Adam Pettit here on pit road. Adam, you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, man. Well, third place finish, hard fought, kind of an up and down kind of night for that number 96 machine. Talk to us about how difficult this abrasive concrete surface is at Nashville Superspeedway and what kind of headaches it caused you tonight.
Oh, god awful. This thing was honestly, it was terrible. It was plowing from like lap 3. I don't know how ginger you had to drive it in the beginning to be able to have any, speed at the end of these runs. And obviously, I figured that out, in the first stage and tried to save a little bit more in the second stage. Didn't do so. Tried it in the third stage, and it was the worst that it was all night. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, everybody else was battling that same issue. So some are just better at it than others. So I'm glad to be done with this concrete and move on to something else because this was no fun tonight.
Hey, I get it, man. I'm right there with you. Much different track next week at Atlanta. Talk to us about how much you're looking forward to heading into that. What is really a wild card race?
Yeah, that's I love that track. Obviously, it eats tires, but it tends to eat the right rear, not the right front, as much as tonight's race did. So, definitely looking forward to that. If we're going to that one, I don't know, are we doing that one or are we doing the Super Speedway?
Oh, it's the Superspeedway.
I think it's Super Speedway. Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, then that kind of changes stuff.
Sorry to
Honestly,
disappoint you.
Yeah,
no,
we hate
no,
to be the bearer
hey,
of bad news here.
it's all good. Just kind of like it's been all season here, not really racing for points, coming in kind of late. So it's just, getting used to the drivers, used to the league, and just, trying to get things ready to go for, next season, which I'm sure at that point, we'll go to Atlanta again. So we'll kind of use this as a test. I don't really race it much because I'm not a really big fan of super speedways, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Hey, man, well, you did a heck of a job. We were glad to see you up there racing hard all night long. Before we let you go celebrate that podium, you got any shout-outs for anyone watching at home?
Yeah, you guys, seriously, hands down, the best broadcast that I've been a part of on iRacing. I love going back and watching them. Tip of the cap to you guys for everything that you guys do. Um, that's you. Like I said, you guys just do a great job. Andy, for a great league. The rest of the admins, the drivers. Jerry, Donnie, Christian, Dustin, Tyler. Bradley. I had a blast tonight, even though the cars sucked. The racing was fun, and then teammate Cody Riggs. Thank you to him for all the help and stuff during the run. So there you go.
Hey, man, well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you tuning in and watching those replays as well on Slingshot TV. We're going to let you go celebrate that third place finish. We'll see you next week down to the south in Atlanta. Adam Pettit, third place finisher tonight. All right, Chris, I believe you were able to catch up with Christian Barnes, our second place finisher tonight.
Yeah, let's bring him in here. Let's get a chat with him. Christian Barnes, our second place finisher. This is Chris, Ellis, and Cam in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, we watched you put forth a valiant effort right there in the closing stages of this thing. And, man, it seemed like you maybe just needed 1 or 2 more laps. And you've been able to give Jacob Cochran a run for his money. We heard Adam Pettit talk about how difficult it was, to maintain tires tonight, but you seem to have a really, really good strat all night. You were always up there, coming forward right there at the end of the stages. Tell us about your night and kind of what your tire conservation strategy was.
Yeah, I kind of knew that tires were going to be a big thing, especially the right front with, the boats we were basically driving tonight. I think everyone was basically dealing with the same thing, couldn't really turn the car. So you really were stuck on the bottom, maybe half a lane up. Any higher and you're basically not able to turn. So I knew that I had to save the right front early on, and once we got like 20 laps in, and then the 20 final laps of the stages, I'd be able to slowly start moving forward. The first stage, I think I just took too long to start going, and by the time that I got to second, Janik was just too far up, and he's pretty good at saving tires as well, so it was going to be very difficult to catch him. Stage two, I don't think y'all caught it, but I actually made a mistake when I was running sixth trying to catch the pack, and I got the outside wall and shot all to the inside grass, so I fell back way too much, and I was able to get within half a second of the top pack, but I just ran out of time and completely my mistake. Lost way too many points there. And then stage three was kind of like a recovery, save a little bit. And I think it was the same thing as stage one. I just took too long to start going. And again, Janik was so far out that by the time that I got to him, it was just too late. I tried a bonsai move on the last lap, but with these old tires, there was no way I was going to stick.
So. Well, hey, yeah, we appreciate you letting us know what happened right there. We were curious about, where you were right there in stage two. But hey, you made a great recovery and, gave yourself some pretty good points here tonight, heading into a wild card next week. Didn't get the win, but coming out of here looking pretty good when, you compare yourself to your other, championship contenders. How do you feel heading into what you're going to have to deal with next week at Atlanta?
Man, I mean, I feel like I'll be good, but at the same time, anything can happen and you can be wiped out on lap one. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to know what kind of strategy you want to go for. If you want to be up front the whole race, the back the whole race. So it really all depends on where I qualify. If I qualify up front, I'm gonna do my best to stay up there and not go to the back. If I qualify in the back, I'm gonna stay there most of the race and hope to survive.
Well, hey, we know one way or another, you're definitely going to make it entertaining for us because you were a lot of fun to watch here tonight, especially as these runs went on. Before we let you go celebrate this second place finish tonight and great points tonight, do you have any shout outs for the folks watching at home?
I want to shout out Water First Racing, my team owner, Gavin Henson, and all the other guys that are in that team. And I do want to say, well, thank y'all guys for broadcasting. And I do want to say, as happy as I am, like I want to be happy that Janik, had that issue, but it's, really unfortunate. And I'm just hoping that by the end of the championship, if I do, win it, I really hope that I beat him by more than, what he lost on that deal. So just want to end off with that.
Hey, that's nice to hear. That's definitely a true pro right there. And yeah, hey, we have no doubt that he'll recover heading into these next couple of races. And hey, we're looking forward to seeing you hit the track next week. And we're going to let you go. And hope you have a great night, man. Congratulations on this great run.
Thank you very much.
All right, so you heard from second place Christian Barnes. That means it's time to catch up with our winner and Whiplash SimCam's victory lane. We got Jacob Cochran. Just got out of the car. Jacob, this is Ellis, Chris, and Cam up in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, big win tonight. Came in clutch on that final pay window. Got the win at Nashville. You fended off a last lap Hail Mary by Christian Barnes to get the win. Talk to us about your night because it wasn't necessarily all night that you had the fastest car. Walk us through how you kind of worked your way up and put yourself in position by the time it mattered.
Yeah, I mean this car was just insanely tight the whole race, and it was just something I was trying to learn really because I've never experienced this car to be this tight. So the first stage, I just kind of do what I always do and take it easy and uh, just kind of ride around a little bit and see what happens, and then realize that I can't. I can maybe save tires a little bit better than these guys, but I can't get around them. So second stage, I tried to kind of flip flop mentality. So I went to the front and felt like the clean air was good, but I still didn't want to burn my tires off. And there was a couple of guys that that started pushing it and got around me, and so then I'm like, okay, well I'll save, and I still couldn't do anything. So um, it was definitely a learning curve. That last stage, um, I was like, okay, I'm gonna fight hard, get to the front, and just try to keep track position and clean air. Um, I knew Christian was back there saving, and he had the better long run car. But I really just in that last 20 lap stage or whatever, I knew he was going to be coming, so it was just really try to keep a little bit of a gap and manage the tires, and just kind of hold on to what's left and have something for him because I knew he was going to get to me, so I was just trying to keep something in the tank so that way I could fight off any kind of run that he gets. So just glad that we finally put it all together again here, and never would have thought it would have been Nashville, but we got it done.
Hey, man, well, you got it when it counts, and if you're in a championship favorite headed in tonight, I think tonight definitely establishes you as one. What track you looking more forward to at the final 2 races, Atlanta or Phoenix?
Definitely Phoenix. I like Phoenix. It's pretty good track for us. Atlanta's my hometown track, so I loved Atlanta when it was the old Atlanta, but now it's all drafting and it's one of those, who knows what happens. I will say with these cars that it is they do have a little bit of handling in place, so I've done pretty well at Atlanta in these cars, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, Phoenix, definitely looking forward to Phoenix. That's one of my favorites.
I'll be watching you the next 2 weeks, man. Good luck in the rest of this campaign. Before we let you go celebrate the win tonight, any shout-outs for the folks watching at home?
Yeah, first shout out you guys, Slingshot. You guys always do a great job and appreciate the hard work. Shout out the team, Barry Performance Racing, Andy and Michael, and my sponsors, Downtown Auto Sales. And then wanted to tell you guys that I got my first Aaron Smith butt kicking last night.
Oh, boy. Well, welcome to the club.
Yeah,
Join the club.
Yeah, right. We had another league, and it was the trucks at the Detroit Street Course, and
Oh, gosh.
I practiced all week, and I felt like I may have something for these guys. And man, oh man, he was like a second and a half faster than any of us. And I remember telling the team, I was like, second's not bad. So yeah, it wasn't. I think he lapped over half the field, almost lapped the whole field. It was pretty brutal. It lets you know real quick. There's levels to this. So
Hey,
no,
well,
I
the
thought it would be
first step
funny.
is always admitting it. So
That's it.
welcome to the club.
Right.
Welcome to the club. I am Jacob Cochran, and I've been beaten by Aaron Smith.
Yep.
A lot of people
Yep.
have said that before. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you out there next week, man. And hey, the good news is you won't have Aaron Smith out on track with you. So get some
That's
rest.
right.
Have a
That's
great
right.
week, and we'll talk to you in Atlanta.
Sounds good. Y'all too. See y'all.
See ya. All right, guys. Well, what a great race. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the finishing order tonight, where your favorite drivers stacked up tonight, first, second, third. We heard from him. Donnie Honeycutt, Chris, great recovery after that initial restart violation. He moved up to fourth and got a top 5. And then the story of the night. I know it's not the Cinderella win that a lot of folks were hoping for, but Dustin Lewis has every bit of that race to be proud for. Finishes 5th in that number 33 after the loss of his dog, Sadie. And I know we're thinking about him and his family, and I know it's no consolation, certainly, but that 5th has to feel good. Tyler Honeycutt finishes 6th in that number 54. Bradley Minor backs up last week's win at Talladega with 7th place finish. Cody Riggs continues to impress, even though a little bit of an early race tangle with another car. He finishes 8th in that number 12 machine. Andy Berry brings home a top 10 tonight with a 9th place finish. And Ryan Bittler, I know the folks at the bar will be happy for a top 10 from Ryan Bittler, who was a quiet drive all night, but able to finish inside the top 10 nonetheless.
Yeah, 5 of the top 6 tonight, Ellis. Those are our championship 6 drivers right there. The only one that was not up there, unfortunately, was Evan Janik after that unfortunate deal on the restart right there. We'll finish with the rest of the drivers right here. Gino Volante, happy birthday to Gino, finishing in the 11th position tonight. Brandon V's first driver 1 lap down, finishing in 12th. Jerry Salinas, we saw him with the trouble that he had early on. He continued to soldier around 17 laps down to finish in 13th. Evan Janik, that's a tough result considering how fast he was tonight. He'll finish 14th. He does have some stage points and some points that he came into, the championship round with here. He's going to be looking to gain some ground here next week, and I have no doubt he'll have every intention of gaining as many points as he can. Michael Cole will finish in 15th tonight in the 43 car. Stephen Gill will have to settle for 16th, and Brock Whiteman, after that early crash, unfortunately will finish in the 17th position tonight.
A fun night in Nashville here at Nashville Superspeedway. Folks, just 2 races remaining in the NSRLA Downtown Auto Sales Series. Next week, we're headed down south to Atlanta for a fun draft track that's going to be a wild card. Anyone's guess as to what's going to happen there. And then we finish off the season 2 weeks from tonight in Phoenix for the championship finale, where one of these 6 drivers will be crowned 2025-2026 Downtown Auto Sales Series champion for NSRLA. Meanwhile, we got plenty of other racing action, Chris, going on the channel between now and then. That includes the Slingshot Racing League PWG late model tour that has been putting on phenomenal shows on Monday. Obviously, it's been dominated if you've watched by Kyle Turczak, but boy, those races have been fun ones to watch. Anytime you can get the late models on short tracks across America, you know it's going to put on a good show. And then, hey, we had a road course race last night for the Slingshot Racing League Grand National Series, and I think someone up in the booth might have won that race. But we're headed to Talladega next week, so now it's going to be my turn to get the win. So that's going to be a phenomenal race on Slingshot Racing League TV, or Slingshot Racing TV, next Thursday, or next Wednesday, I should say. And then, like I mentioned, Thursday is Atlanta. So plenty of racing coming your way. We gave away that die-casted Doodlebug tonight. Chris, any parting thoughts before we shut down the truck for tonight and head home?
Oh, yeah, just, what you mentioned. Yeah, great night of racing right here. A difficult night for these drivers. I think we saw that kind of early on with, the single groove, a lot of tire wear, tire degradation. You heard these drivers, complaining about the setup tonight, and, with the track temperature, kind of probably made it a little bit worse. But they still put on a very entertaining race. It was fun to watch kind of the drivers moving up, early in the run and then kind of sliding back later. Those who were able to maintain their pace. I was very, very entertained despite the handling issues that everybody had. And I hope everybody else was too that was watching at home. Can't wait for next week. It's going to be a great week on the channel. The late model tour is going to Five Flags next week. And that's always a very entertaining short track. Those drivers, it's been entertaining every single week. You mentioned Talladega, a couple of super speedways next week. I know Atlanta is just a mile and a half, but it races like a super speedway. Talladega on Wednesday night with the Grand National Series, and then these guys right here in Atlanta next week. It's definitely there's gonna be no shortage of action next week here on Slingshot TV. You don't need to go anywhere else all week long.
Folks, make sure you have subscribed. It doesn't cost you a thing. And hit that bell icon because you'll know immediately when we go live. You're not going to miss a minute of the action. Folks, that's going to do it for us tonight. For Slingshot TV, I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Cam Gillens. Enjoy the rest of your week, folks, and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday night. Bye for the weekend.